Doo 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 doo. That's the
Ooh,
angle. Doo doo
ooh, what?
doo doo. That's the podcast.
Rain, man, good to have you on the show. I say it's long
How you guys
overdue,
doing? What's up?
but yeah, as you were saying, dude, you go to ODU?
Yeah, I'm old. Yeah, I've been a student at ODU since 2016.
Dude, that's crazy. That's where I went to college.
Really? What'd you major in?
Yeah, uh, audio engineering.
Okay, well, makes sense. Okay,
Com-
I'm majoring in computer engineering.
that makes no sense.
It it doesn't.
That makes no sense.
Well, I mean, it does. It does actually. It does. I can explain it, but I guess we could do it later on in the show.
No, we can talk about it right now since we're on it. I mean, so I have you on because I think you're a phenomenal, talented artist.
Thank you.
But so that's why I'm so shocked to hear that you're going to school for computer engineering.
Yeah. Well, a lot of artists have actually like taken on professions like what I mean, like way left, like way like right side, you know what I mean, as opposed to like being phenomenal artists on the left side of the brain. But I kind of figured out that I think both sides were kind of like equally matched
Mm.
earlier on, you know what I mean. I remember some of my teachers even saying that, saying that you're very like left side right side, like your left side and right side are very balanced, you know what I mean. And usually it's like one of them is more, usually a person's like leaning more to like either or, but mine is
Mm.
like right in the middle. And I think that's kind of like, but I think it's cool. It's good though because like when I was like developing my style of art, like it definitely had an influence. So
How do you feel about it? Do you feel like you'd rather just be like the artist life painting all day, or are you kind of like,
nah,
the computer science degree is kind of a good idea to have while I do my art?
nah. I feel like school is anything else. I feel like school is anything else. Like I feel like it's like a good stock, especially computer engineering. Because it's a field that's like steadily increasing. So I just feel like it's an investment, if anything. You know what I mean? Like it's not something I'm pursuing like as a passion. It's just
Mm-hmm.
something that I'm pursuing like as an investment. Like that's the right size. Like this is a good
Mm.
investment to make right now. I'm a good 4-year investment to
That's the
make. The
logical brain
return.
right there.
Yeah, like this
That's
good.
logics and in our safety net being like, make sure I have something to do while I do this art shit. Do you
Exactly.
wanna like pursue painting full time?
Um, Eventually, yes,
Yeah.
but at the same time, not because I don't want it to turn to a 9 to 5. Like I don't want to have to complete commissions in order to pay my bills. Or I don't want to have to depend on like creating a certain amount of work every month in order to pay things. So I'll tell my friends this. I was like, I would rather work a 9 to 5 doing something that I'm like semi like interested in than have to do commissions on things that kind of kill my creativity. And
Mm.
as well as just like painting for money, you know what I mean. Like if I get to the point where people are like, if I get to the point where people are like buying my art, you know what I mean, like this, like real fast, you know what I mean, which I feel like is I feel like it's going to happen. But
You bring up an interesting point. It's like what feels better to your soul is like, would you rather be painting
exactly.
commissions for someone, or would you rather be working a 9 to 5 for someone just to get off work and paint? It's like it
Working a
depends
nine
on
to five
which.
to see out and paint. Like I'm not even gonna lie to you, I'd rather do that. A 9 to 5, it's 8 hours, and then you have
Mhm.
16 more hours in the day to just do what you want to do, as opposed to having to create commissions and deal with clients they don't really have a vision. You have to create a vision for them. It's very taxing, and you can ask like commissions, any commissions artist. It's very taxing, especially any artist that doesn't prefer commissions. It's very taxing on your creativity, and it's very just annoying. I'm not
I
even gonna
mean, but
water it down.
that's how a lot of artists make money, though. A lot of artists make money from people patronizing their business because at the end of the day, art is a business that needs to be run like
Right.
a business. But like,
hmm
that's
But
how artists make money, right?
yeah, but like patronizing is different because some people when you like because like sometimes you have collectors who literally like just like, yo, what do you need right now? Do you need this?
Mm.
All right, cool. I'm sending it. You know what I mean? Because they're collectors, they're investing in your craft. Then you have, commissions and the commissions, they're not really patronizing. You know what I mean? It's not really patronizing. It's more so just, they're a customer,
Yeah.
they're a customer. because because people who want commissions aren't typically interested, and they might not typically be interested in your original work just as it is. They want your original work but apply to something else, or they want your skill level apply for something else, you know? So like recently I did a commission called the Cardinal Dance, and
that was a nice piece.
I see, and see the thing is, I should say this at the beginning, I have mixed emotions about commissions. Like that one right there, you know, the person approached me. He was like, "Hey, like, do you commissions?" And I was like, "We can work something out." And he was like, "I want something based like on Virginia." And I was like, "A cardinal, you know, like I paint
State bird,
like,
yeah.
I paint figures and stuff all the time. So I was figured like a state bird, pretty cool to try out, especially like since I have a new approach that I'm working at." And one of my one of the artists that I like talk to a lot, I guess you could call it a mentor. He was telling us, he was like, when it comes to commissions, he tries to make them collaborations between the artist and the person who's, you know, who's asking.
Yeah.
And, you know, like that's what I did for that when I made it a collaboration. Like, okay, you want this idea, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna reinvent it in my own way.
So were you miserable the whole time? Were you miserable the whole time you were painting that?
No, and that's the thing. But sometimes you have those commissions where people want like portraits done, and it's just like, nah, I don't want to do portraits. And it's like, I can do portraits very well. You know what I mean? I can do portraits very well. I can do them in acrylic, oil, or graphite. I can do them very well in different medias, but I just don't enjoy it.
So you're telling me you'd rather be coding all day for some shit you may not believe in versus doing a commission that someone's paying your rates for and you get to put your own style on it? You saying that sounds happier to you?
That's why I said I would mix emotions on it, because like,
I mean, so
if it's one that I'm doing, and you know, if it's one that I'm doing and somebody, let me put my own spin on it, cool, let's do it. But if it's one where somebody's like, yo, I want a 36 by 48 inch black and white portrait of Muhammad Ali, I'm gonna be like, bro, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? And if it was 36 by 48, you know what I mean? I'm probably getting like a big, I'm probably, you know what I mean? I'm getting some money for that.
Yeah,
but
that's you're charging your rate for that. You're paying 6 months rent with that bad boy.
Exactly, and it's just like, oh man, dang.
I know what you're saying, because, you know, so I'm a full-time photographer.
It's that self-conflict, man.
So I'm a full-time photographer right now, and it's, I mean, given COVID, it's been rough, right? But generally speaking, you know, I'll get like really weird gigs. Like someone wants me to shoot their private party. Some rich person's like, yo, come shoot our private party. I fucking hate doing events. Like I never wanted to do events. I would rather shoot fashion and fine art and have exhibitions and make money that way in like my dream world. But as someone who like worked a 9 to 5 so I could pursue photography on the side to build it up to make it my primary income, it was helpful, and it's smart to have like another source while you're chasing like or while I was chasing my artist dream. But thinking back, like when I'd get those gigs that would be paying good for the events, but I wasn't necessarily trying to be an event photographer to do that stuff, but they liked my work and they liked my style. It kind of just dawned on me. I was like, you know, I'd much rather be shooting this party and be doing this than like doing Google AdSense for some stupid local newspaper from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. because it's like I was still doing what I was doing. And to me personally, it felt more satisfying, even though it made me like more uncomfortable because I don't really like events that much. Like shooting them, I'm a very social person, but like I don't really like events that much. I was like, you know, I'd rather be doing this bullshit than doing the other bullshit work for someone else, because I could meet someone at this party who would be like, hey, what's your thing? And then next thing you know, I'm getting like another gig and another gig. And it would put me deeper into at least a closer side of that goal and like making a living from what I truly enjoyed, than as opposed to like doing something like completely different. But that was just for me. Like that was just my perspective.
No, I get it. And see, the thing about computer engineering is like, I can apply it to so many other things because, you know, like, as you see, like, I like to like kind of dabble in other fields as well as like art, you know what I mean? I like to dabble in clothing as well, sometimes graphic design. So coding in itself, like, it gives me, it legitimizes me as a, you know, as a professional, like in the world about it. And then what it does, and what it has also done is like taught me like the basics when it comes to coding. So in my mind, like what I want to do later on is like create apps and stuff like that, you know what I mean, involving my art. So I don't know, man, it's definitely like a yes or no type of thing with it. Like but going back to the one I just told you about, like 36 by 48, of course, if somebody wanted to do a commission like that, I'm gonna be like, all right, bet, give me the stacks. I'm with it. You know what I mean? I'm with it. But you know what I mean? If it's like a 16 by 20 portrait, you know what I mean? It's just like, nah, I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah,
Or if
what
it's
if
like, you know what I
what
mean?
if they're paying you a few grand though? All of a sudden, that portrait sounds kind of nice.
If it all depends on the money. I guess
Yeah.
I guess the rate have to be raised up for me to do it, because it's not something that I enjoy doing. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know, I don't know. I don't know, man. I
Yeah, no,
don't know.
it's all right. That's why I just
It's a
love
sticky
talking about it,
situation.
because you're
Yeah,
so
it's
young
sticky.
and you're so talented, and like
Yeah,
you could wake up in 6 months and be like, "Fuck computer
exactly.
engineering, I'm just gonna do
Exactly.
my artist shit," because
Exactly.
but
It's
given the times, it seems like a better idea, because being an artist for anyone is so hard right now. Like it is
yeah,
borderline impossible to be any sort of visual artist if you're not already established. You know, the people who
right.
are already established, they're getting gigs, they're getting commissions right now because because it's just how it is. But
Right.
being like new into a field and trying to build your name and to like build yourself up and to have those like more of those shows like how we met at home, we can't do that right now.
Yeah. And see, like the thing is, like, what was I to say? Even like, so I got, because I started out early. You know, I started out when I just graduated high school, so 18 years old. I wouldn't really say that's early, but you know, for some people it's not early, but for me it was. Is that early actually? Is that early? Like actually starting out
You
in
mean
your
like
career?
starting to draw, or starting like as like
No,
I'm a painter, or
actually,
like
no, actually, like pursuing it seriously. I've been
oh
drawing since
like
I was
pursuing it?
yeah, I've
Um
been drawing since a youngin.
uh I don't know. I don't really think there is no like time,
Okay, I don't really know either,
like
but
correct time
I
for anything really. It's just
yeah,
dependent on yourself. It's like,
yeah, that's true. So, well, I started like pursuing it serious when I was like 18. So,
wow.
in the meantime, I was like, you know,
No, that is young. That's young, because when I was 18,
okay,
I couldn't think of anything I wanted to seriously pursue. I was like seriously
okay,
pursuing booty and weed. Like I was not pursuing like an actual like artistic medium, you know?
yeah. So like, I was actually like made up my mind. I was like, all right, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna start a clothing brand. I'm gonna make art, and you know, I'm gonna go to these local live painting shows, and I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna put my name around. I'm gonna do something with it. You know what I mean? And I was like, in the meantime, though, you know what I mean, until, you know, people start getting a hold of what I'm doing, or I, you know, I learn everything I didn't know. I just do college for right now. You know, and I have a scholarship. I get financial aid from it. You know what I mean?
Why not?
You know what I mean? It's like in state. It's a fraction of like what it says it's supposed to cost for me. You know what I mean? And half of it is paid off anyway.
Oh, dude,
So
that's
I was like,
beautiful.
yeah, I was like, it's a good situation. You know what I mean? Like, what's the worst that can happen? Go for it. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. It is what it is. Who, like, you know, like you might not want to do this in the future. You might not want to do art in the future. You might not want to do computer engineering in the future. You might
Nice.
want to do both. You might not want to do both. You might be doing something else. But who knows? We're just gonna go with it right now.
Yeah.
And I'm a very go with the flow type of person. Even though, like, as logical as I am with like choosing things, it's like I'm only choosing this because it's right now, and that's just what, you know, everything is pointing towards. So
Well, it's
that's what I'm gonna
interesting
go with.
because of COVID, like we can't really make big decisions, right?
You
Like what
can't.
you're doing is
Mm-mm.
extremely logical, but say this passes over in like a year, right?
Mm-mm.
Art is not in Virginia Beach ODU. Are
Mm-mm.
you thinking you're gonna move? And if you move,
Oh,
is it gonna be
definitely.
for art, or is it gonna be for like computer engineering?
Oh, it's gonna be for art. It's
Oh
gonna be
fuck
for
yeah!
art, bro.
Where are you
It's
thinking
gonna
of
be for
or
art.
going? Like what's that in your
If
mind?
I was to move, it would be either LA or New York. That,
Mm,
like, seriously, or DC. You know what I mean? One of the major cities. One of the major cities. Like, I already know that. And see, the thing is, like, I have good connections on LA. Well, I have good connections in my opinion. I have connections that have potential in both in those parts. So I feel like, you know, if I was to move there in a year or two, maybe three, max three, I can, you know, I could get something popping. You know what I mean? That
oh,
could be
dude, you
helping me.
definitely could, man.
Yeah, like I can get something popping in a year or two, max three. They, you know what I mean? They can help me like long term wise. So, you know, like computer engineering, like it's just like a, it's just like a, yeah, I'm coming there, but I'm gonna tab this job too. So I'm not working three jobs. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
we're not working three jobs because I've done it before and it's not it. It's
Yeah,
not it.
yeah.
Yeah,
There is no right way. I
you
just love
know?
talking about it with you because I
Yeah.
mean, I literally had Kelly Tolles on last week, and he's one of the biggest artists in DC, like one of the biggest artists in DC. And
Hmm.
he straight up said he was like, you know, for a lot of my career, I had a side job, I had a different job, or whatever it is.
Hmm.
It's like there is no there's no glory to being a starving artist as well
It's
as
not.
like
It's
anything
not.
else. Like, but if someone wants to do that, hell yeah. If you feel that
Exactly.
in your
Yeah.
bones and you can make it
Exactly.
work, fuck yeah. But if you want to work that job so you can say no to shit and do what you really want to do and have that money to invest in yourself, I think that makes
Yeah.
just as much sense. And it's like there
Yeah.
is no right or wrong way. What I
Mhm.
thought was crazy was that you came from Virginia Beach, found DC, and had that first solo show.
Well, they found me. They
Oh,
found
really?
me. They found me. They found me, and it was through my friend Kevin, who was a part of Rare Art. No, he wasn't. No, he is still a part. He's still a part of Rare Art, which is like a digital platform for artists. And
Oh,
I met
wow.
him, through my friend who lives in this area, Jay Melendez of the Perfect Play. He also has another podcast, and um, it was just like boom, 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 basically. Like Jay introduced me to Kevin. And then Kevin was sharing our work across the platform, and Rare Song was like, yeah, I want to have a show with this dude. And like that year, I said from the beginning, I was like, I'm going to have a solo show. I don't know where I'm gonna have it
Whoa.
at. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm gonna have a solo show by the end of the year. I ain't telling anybody this except like my mother and my brother. You know what I mean? A few close friends. And it happened. I was like, I knew it was gonna happen, so it happened. Like, what's up? And he was
Manifested
like,
that shit right there. You know,
big
you
facts,
put that energy out, and it'll happen if you really want it like
big
that.
facts,
I fully believe in that. But
bro.
yeah, it's cool to
Yes.
hear. It's cool to hear how that came about, like with you and the Amir show. Like that's really interesting.
Yeah, it was definitely a proof of both manifestation and networking, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. Literally. Like the networking was like, so that's what happens when you network.
Mm-hmm.
He speaks to him, and then yeah, good things happen. Okay.
How did you
That's what
feel
happens
going
off
in?
of a network.
I mean, but that's the beauty of networks and
Facts.
social
That's what happens
networks
off
and
of a
everything.
network.
Like that's
Like that. Yeah. Like it
network is
proved
your net worth. However they say it.
exactly. And it really proved a lot to me. Just as far as like having an intention,
Mm-hmm.
and also, being able to work with people and, have an actual network,
Mm.
But yeah, I was very happy when I got it, and I was very like ecstatic about the entire like showcase and everything. It was beautiful. I love the space. Amir was a great person, like as far as like helping me with everything. He even helped me hang some of the pieces himself,
Mm-hmm.
I remember the drive up there was like, it was a bad drive. I'm not gonna lie, it was a bad drive, but
It's
we
a
got there,
3 hour
we
drive.
made it.
I know that
Yeah,
drive. It is not fun.
it ain't fun, but we got up there. We made it, and we made it happen, and that's just what it was.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was super ambitious. I was like, dang, this young ass dude's out here putting on his own solo show at home, like in DC, like a whole nother place. Like I was like mad respect when I saw it. I was like, all right, this
No
kid's got,
curator,
yeah. I was
no
like,
curator,
yeah, I was like, this kid's all
no
right. This kid
curator,
believes in himself. This is sick, and like
no
I really
curator.
enjoyed those pieces. As a matter of fact,
Thank you.
your pieces were the backdrop for a lot of my podcast.
Yeah, I peeped on the home Instagram I saw. I was like, yeah, that is tough, bro. It was
Yeah,
really lights in the room. I was like, that's fire.
yeah, that was the first time I was like, let me just set the table up in front of these paintings. I was like, why am I not using these awesome paintings as a backdrop? So I just did it, and I was like, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is sick, and I just kept doing
Beautiful.
it. And then now your paintings show up in every one of my YouTube videos because my intro, I did an interview with this guy, and he beatboxed. He went doo 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 doo. That's the angle doo doo. And so I just
Literally.
clipped that and I made it the intro to my podcast on YouTube. So in
Bro,
every
that's
intro,
fire.
your art is in the background.
That's actually pretty tough. That's actually fire.
Yeah, you make me look cooler.
Hey man, that's
So I
art made
appreciate
you look
that.
cooler. Art made you look cooler.
Right?
Nah, but that's great though. That's really good. That's really dope.
I mean, there's some other artworks that could have been in that intro that I don't know if would have made me look cooler. Like someone did some like Saddam Hussein shit with like terrorists. I don't know if I'd want that in every intro. You know what I'm saying? But your stuff was
I know who you're
perfect.
talking about. I think that was this artist named Esteban Whitehead or
No,
Whitehead, something like that.
It wasn't Esteban. It was this other guy
It wasn't.
named like Janae Art or something. Esteban had
Huh.
his art was behind my podcast for a little bit at the backdrop, and he just
Mm-hmm.
I sort of had like if you actually looked close to the backdrop, you'd see like dead cops, the N word, like really bad shit. But luckily it's a little blurry, so you can't see it. But I was like,
Right.
I hope this doesn't show up, man.
Nah, his art is very bold. This art is
Right.
very bold. I enjoy seeing it. It's just like,
Mhm.
hey, he's speaking his mind.
It's got that shock value
He's
to it.
speaking his mind. It does. It does. I was looking at one of his posts underneath another Instagram the other night, and somebody was just talking trash, and I was like, bro, the worst thing you can do I mean, I get it, and it's going to be natural, but the worst thing you can do is just like diminish a piece of art to just being nothing but, colors. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason the artist painted it. You know what I mean? It's a reason the artist painted it. There's a reason why something is a certain size and certain colors are used. Whether it's subconscious or whether it's intentional, there's a reason for it. You know what I mean? So like to say like a piece is like, oh, this isn't very mature, this is trash. It's like, bro, you probably shouldn't really be looking at art because, like people who, actually appreciate art understand that, it's here for conversation. So whether or not you think it's good or not, the fact that you're talking about it means it's done something.
That's
Otherwise,
great.
you'll walk.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Otherwise, you'll walk right past it.
If art makes you feel a certain way, negative or bad, whether or not you agree with the message, it's still got a reaction
You're
out of you.
still engaging,
Which
and that's the point of art in general, is to
Yeah.
create conversation. And you fell into the trap, so you've actually contradicted yourself because it's doing something.
So when you had your first your first solo show at Ohm, how did that go? What were people saying like and engaging about your pieces? Like what was some of the feedback from that?
They were really it was like the first time a lot of people actually saw the work in person, especially the people that came from Virginia Beach. It was like 1/3 of the amount that was there. 1/3 of the amount of people came from Virginia Beach. I wasn't really surprised about that though. Like I just wanted to see like if I could bring people up there, and I did, which was really good. I think it was really dope that people made a 3-hour drive just to come up there.
Yeah, that's
But like a lot of the conversations were about the use of color, about the use of composition, structure, how I like why I decided to name certain things certain ways, certain things, or why I like to paint certain ways and all that good stuff. We then got into like this discussion where somebody asked me a question before I knew it turned into like a full on like Q&A. And they were asking me just a lot of different questions about, just the pieces and like where, like where the creativity, where it stemmed from. And man, seeing these now versus the ones that I have now is crazy. Like, oh my God.
Really? Like
You've
changed?
Bro, it's so immature from the ones I'm doing now.
Really?
Yes. Man.
Wow.
I made it my objective to like step it up, entirely step it up after the show. Though I was like, all right, we're like that.
I mean, these pieces were pretty crazy, and you sold a bunch of them.
They're really they're good, but
like this one right here, I loved this one. That one was so sick.
Yeah, that was Garden Party. I love that one too. Made it back in 2018.
Yeah, like such big, colorful piece from someone, for their first show. It's like it's very, I guess, just ambitious in my opinion, just how bold and the use of color. And it's like it didn't feel to me like you were trying to copy anyone, which I thought was really cool. Like it felt original to me. Like I feel, and this is kind of a fucked up thing to say, I feel like a lot of like young Black artists get caught up trying to look like Basquiat.
No, it's true. It's true. You definitely feel that.
And I mean, that's just my perspective. I could be wrong, but like when I saw your stuff, I was just
it's
like,
true. It's true.
Yeah, like
it's true.
It's something I've noticed.
Your perspective is true. It's that simple. Your perspective is true, which is fine. You know what I mean? Which is cool. You know what I mean? I'm never down about it for like, I'm looking up to like the masters, looking up to like the greats. You know what I mean? I don't doubt that. You know what I mean? I don't
Everyone's got to start somewhere, and if that's your inspiration, that's your inspiration. But
exactly.
But when I saw yours, I was like, oh damn, like this kid's slapping out here. Like this kid.
I made it my mission to like not do that. Like if I notice myself starting to like, in like my stuff to like even look, there was like super like crazy. I'd be like, nah, turn it off now. Go the other direction.
Ooh, yeah, that's gotta be rough when you start catching it. It's almost like how much inspiration do you take?
Exactly. And you take it unconsciously, bro, because you take it subconsciously. Like you see something that's good all the time. And it's like, it's eventually going to come out. And when you catch it, you're just like, ooh, no. Go back. Go back to what you was doing before that and continue.
Well, I want to share this photo. Oh yeah, young Rain, first solo show with the Louis V ball right there.
Yo, Foster killed these shots.
Yeah, that is a sick shot, man. I love that shot.
This man made me look handsome.
Yeah, this is on your dating profile, man. This is fire.
Bro, facts. Bro, the hair's got so much longer too.
Yeah, that's so cool. It's just like one of those classic artist photos that you see.
Somebody said that. Somebody was like, "Man, this is one of the pictures you see in the history book."
Right? That's literally what that is. Like that's the photo you see like on his first solo show. Did you sell all those pieces?
Nah, I sold one of them. I wasn't expecting to sell all of them. It was just more so just to show people like we doing this for real.
Like, you sold one, dude. That's insane. That's still pretty awesome.
My personal goal was to have my first solo show outside of Virginia and to sell a piece from it. Just one piece. I'd be content with just selling one piece from it. Mm-hmm. And I did it. And
nice.
like that's pretty much all I needed to prove to myself that I could go to another state and sell out a show if I wanted to. You know what I mean? That's pretty much all. Bro, it doesn't take much for me to prove something to myself. It really doesn't. Like, you know, like I got two people that if I have confidence in one thing, it's my art. If I have confidence in one thing, it's my art. So I'm a really push that like as much as I can, like without question.
Damn, if I painted like you, I would too. I mean, like, let me stop screen sharing that. I want to pull up some more of your art.
Okay.
Some stuff that I screenshot.
Hold up, I read that.
Oh, okay. All right, there we go. So I think this is an older work of yours. Let me share screen this. I just thought this piece was so sick. This one right here.
Very old one.
But just the style there is so cool. Like you got this dude and he's got like these random colored lips with this like crazy red block here, yet and their backs are facing. What was the thought behind this this
I create a lot of it from subconscious. But back in this painting period, I was really on big of like painting faces. Mm-hmm. One where it was like easily identifiable, like people could really like identify with it, which is the one on the right, and then another one with its back turned, and it's like really abstracted. And face is really abstracted, as you can see. And the entire like idea behind it was like two sides to every coin, where the person's the coin and two people, and the person has two sides to them. They have like, this side and that side, whether it's wild and, very just stable, or if it's loving and then very like malicious, whatever it is, one person has two sides to them. So that was like kind of like the idea going into a lot of these pieces. 'Cause I have another one that's also like this one, but not like this one the same way. Like it's kind of like the same structure.
So you said you paint from the subconscious. So when you started this painting, did you go into it with like an objective and then you started painting, or was it just like blank canvas and you just started putting strokes on it?
I had the idea of two sides to every coin in, but I didn't go in with like, like a set plan on like how I was going to like make colors and everything. I don't ever do that.
Dude, why?
Well, I didn't ever do it until like a month or two ago. Yeah. So now it's really starting to get into the point where, and actually and more so now, like I feel like some of them I'm going and planning, because I've come to this realization that, I have a way that I can communicate with the viewer visually, but my visual language isn't really saying a lot about what's going on around me. You know what I mean? So like I can show, like I'm showing people like what I see through my own eyes, like the world on a day-to-day basis, the people that inspire me, the world that inspires me, everything that inspires me, but I'm not telling them about it. I'm not communicating like why these things inspire me enough. I'm not communicating the idea that inspire me by using the way that I see the world. So that's my next step, to be honest. It's like not just painting subconsciously, but like actually thinking about something and then going forward with it, but still keeping that authenticity, if that makes sense.
Like you like an intent from the beginning.
Yeah, yeah. Like this is what I wanted to go off of and show, and this is how I built it, how I structured it, and after that I just went in and like I still don't like using certain colors. I still don't know. I still don't like having. I still like going in with like a color palette or anything like that. I don't like
Mm.
that. I actually have never went in with a color palette ever.
Really? You just sort of like start and then you just kind of think, I want red here. Like you just it just kind of like comes to you. Like where does that come from? I'm so fascinated about like that. Like you're
I
just
don't
like,
know.
I need
I've
red
talked
in
to
this corner. It's like I need blue on the lips. I need this like
honestly, yeah, we and my friends talk about it and we think it's just natural understanding of color theory. I think I don't know, I feel like that's just the only way to describe it, to be honest, like not needing to map out colors. And that just means you naturally understand them. You know what I mean? Like
mhm.
if a person understands, math or people innately, then that just means that they understand those people innately. Yeah, they don't have to learn much about them. This is this is the piece that like I was like, yo, all right, bet we're almost there.
Almost there to what?
Almost there to just like I feel like my own style. Like
Mm.
the other ones are definitely me, but I feel like this one is more me than anything.
I mean, this one is it's such a I don't I feel like I wish I knew more art terms to like categorize shit, but I feel like all I can say is like it's like a insane looking portrait. Like he's got these sort of like not feather like things over here coming out the head, but then it's like half the face is coherent, but the other half just kind of like wraps around. It's so nuts.
It's called Indigo's Inferno, and when I was creating it, I went in with the intention to create a face. Like I just said, I went in with create the intention of a face, but I didn't really go with the colors at the
Mm.
very beginning. But I just got some new oil paint and it was blue. And this is on a different like medium. I mean, well, not a different medium, but a different like just like canvas. It's linen instead of like just regular canvas. So I was like, yo, like I'm gonna try oil on this, and I'm gonna try my blue oil on this. Try indigo. So I was painting the face, and I was like, this is like an indigo. This is gonna be an indigo person basically. And I don't know. I put the orange and the red behind it. I felt like that really blasts the forefront or the subject to the forefront. The contrast is there. The petals that I used, which are the yellow things you saw,
Mhm.
they're actually flower petals, and I've used a lot of flowers in my work, a lot.
They're
And I feel
flower
like,
petals. Interesting.
yeah. So it's like I've used flowers in my work a lot because flowers inspire me a lot. I love flowers. So as I keep on doing it, like I also see people who use them as well. So I'm just like, yeah, like what can I do to make this more me? And I made a stencil, got some spray paint, boom. Now I got a flower that's me. You know what I mean? If you see this on
Oh,
somebody else, you're gonna if you see it, if you see it on somebody else's work, you're gonna be like, yo, I've seen that before
it's interesting
somewhere.
they use the spray paint element with your oils. That's
Yeah.
that's an interesting twist. It's like the old school and new school in a way.
Bro, exactly. It's just a reinventing of new school, bro. It's just reinventing. Just a reinventing of old school. That's it. Just a
Yeah,
part.
it's
Like,
like just
like,
going forward.
bro,
It's like spray
exactly.
paint made this like made me getting these lines like a lot easier, more possible to like use a stencil in a creative way.
Exactly. Like, bro, like you don't think the old masters would be using spray paint if they had it? Bro, they would. They would definitely be using it, bro.
That's
As
a big
inventive
fact.
as like some of them were, it would definitely be like they'd be like spray paint. Give me that. You know what I mean? Like
Right?
what? They definitely be using it. Like we gonna take advantage of everything that we have. Like, because if you go back to it, like there's actually like there's like the metal part there is spray paint. There's a purple part that's spray paint.
You mean like on the
Like right
neck?
here. Yeah, like on the neck. The neck is purple. The neck, like that part where it's like kind of right there.
Hmm.
You can't see me pointing at it, but
Yeah.
it's spray paint. And then in the lower right hand corner, like the curve, like right underneath the curve,
Oh, right
that
here.
spray paint. Yep, that's it's like blue spray paint laid over metallic spray paint.
So
And then if you
interesting.
look on the right side, going up that curve, going up, like no, on the left side. My bad.
Oh, up here.
Yeah. So if you look at that curve going down, like
Mm,
on like the circle area,
yeah.
a little bit downer than that. Yeah, right there. then you'll see the metallic on the side, on the right hand side of that, and it's like kind of going down.
Oh yeah. I see that.
Yeah, yeah. So it's and like oil paint once it, I mean like in spray paint, like once it dries, it's very easy to paint over and manipulate. So
Yeah,
yeah,
100%. I can imagine you went back in time and showed them, oh, yeah, here's some spray paint in a can. Wait, what? I could do a whole background in 2 seconds. I don't gotta break my wrist doing this shit. How long?
exactly.
How long did it take you to paint this whole thing?
I woke up inspired when I painted this piece. Like I woke up really inspired, and I think I finished it in probably 2.5 to 3 hours.
Oh shit! You painted it in
Yeah,
one sitting.
yeah, one sitting. Oh yeah, one sitting. I paint almost all my stuff in one sitting.
How big
If I
was
start,
this?
hmm?
How big
Oh, it was
was
only
it?
16 by 20 inches. So
Damn.
it actually took me longer than usual to paint it, but that's because I started out with an intention. And I was like, no, you're going to paint a face. That's what you're going to paint. It actually started out as like a test piece for real, for real. And it just kind of morphed into like something that was for real. I was like, because I was like testing it, I was like, you want us to just be a test? You want us to be a real piece? And I was like, all right, we're just gonna make it a real piece.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
YOLO that shit.
You know what I mean? I was like, we're gonna make it a real piece. So I was like, nah, we're gonna keep on, making this face structured the way it's supposed to be, on the way it's supposed to be, so it looks good, and then we're gonna go off of that, and then we're gonna turn left. So I made the face the way I wanted it, because I wanted realistic features in the face. That's what I wanted, realistic features in the face, but I didn't want it like the eyes. Like I made it my.
Yeah,
I
I love
think I
this.
spent probably like 30 minutes on that eye, like making sure those highlights were
Holy
right.
shit. Yeah,
I spent 30
I
minutes on it.
love the detail shots. Like it gives it so much more context as far as like the texture
Mm-hmm.
and how you applied the paint. Like when you
Yeah,
say did 30 minutes on the eye, it kind of makes sense now. It's like I see the dark in the middle, the little white
yeah.
highlights, like
And then like even in the
low.
middle, you can see like the blending of it is just like the curvature towards the left side end of it. You can see
Yeah.
like the curvature of the eye, like how it, like because like you know how like the eye, like it has like that, like that white part towards like the towards that part, like the nose.
Mm-hmm. Oh
That's where
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah. That
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
whatever
So
that thing is. I don't know what the hell that
whatever
thing
that
is.
thing is, that's what it is. You know what I mean? And cause I started off painting in oils, because I was very like inspired by Dali. Dali, like the first artist I was like super inspired by. So I started off painting oil landscapes and everything like that, and like all my old figures that I had, I was painting in oils.
Oh
And there's
wow.
actually somebody who owns those pieces, bro. He actually
Some
owns those pieces.
someone
Yeah, a
bought those from
collector.
you?
Yeah, a collector. He owns those pieces. He owns some of those pieces, like some of those early on pieces. Like I don't think he understands it, but like that's like,
I think he
bro,
understands it. I think that's why he bought them.
yeah, like bro, you have some
He's a
oil
collector.
paintings
If
by
he's a
me.
decent collector, he knows what he's doing by buying those paintings.
Facts. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. And he was like, bro, you have an oil painting by me. Like I don't even paint, and it was nothing but oil. That's the thing. It was straight oil. It was straight oil. Like months on months of letting it dry type. You know what I mean?
Oh, I wish I
Like,
could pull up an image of it. Was it on your Instagram?
it's
Oh,
it's bro. I'm gonna have to go back and like maybe like make a post about these, like a video or something. And
yeah, it's Thursday.
I
You could do a
think that'd be,
throwback Thursday. It's Thursday. You got
yeah,
everything.
facts. Because I was actually talking to a new friend of mine. She's a part of this group she is the leader of this new group called Alpha Art Alliance, and they're based out in Brooklyn. And she's basically telling me that like she wants to like help me, just as I grow, just help me in like making the decision making process, because she thinks that I have really good potential. And I was like, of course, like I need more people in my corner who understand this anyway,
That's awesome.
so
For her to reach out and trying to help you. I mean,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
incredible.
It's like
That means she sees something. Like she's seeing potential. Like I think a lot of people see. I see. That's why I'm having you on the show. I'm like, dude, like, I want to talk to this guy before something happens.
thank you. Um, and she was telling me, she was like, a good way to like just build a following and increase traction, and also just like become more relatable, is by just diving deep into like who you are, like what you are, and like what you represent
That's
in
so
the past
true.
and the present. And it's like, that's very true. And like it's artists, like we're typically like really secretive, you know what I mean,
We
and
get
like
tired of our
to
own work. Like
ourselves.
I don't want to post
Yeah,
something I shot last year. I'm like, fuck that. But
exactly.
someone who just started following me may not scroll down and see that. Like,
Exactly.
why not remind them that I did something epic in the past, and that
Exactly.
here's
Not
a
just,
deeper dive into it. And like, you're right, make those connections and make those relations mentally with someone, because we live in this artist world where everyone has to have like their brand and their platform and their network, and you have to build it. Like, it's important to foster that as an artist these days. You can't just like not have that. Like, you have to engage.
exactly. So I was like, like, so that's what I've been thinking about, like the past, because we talked, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday. And, I was like, I've been thinking about it ever since then. I was like, like, what can I do about that? Because naturally, I'm a very like to myself type of person, especially over social media. I don't like, I appreciate all the love and support from everybody that from everybody, but like, I really like my space. I really like my space in my own company, But, I've learned to like move out of that when, talking to people in the art world, in the art industry, whatever you want to call it, because you need to, like when I first started out, I remember like I would just sit on the couch and like let people come to me, but like, nah, they'll come to me. Not now. I go to them. So,
Of course, man. You always got to go out and get it.
Yeah, it was like growing into it. You know what I mean? I was young, man. I was 18, 19 years old. You got to get out of that. You got to get out of that fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love when artists I follow and I like their work when they post something about I didn't know, or something about the process, or shows like a behind the scenes of like the initial stages or something like that. I think you do. Looking at your posts, you do a pretty decent job with like showing the progression of some pieces. Like, oh, that's really cool. Like the cardinal piece you're talking about, you kind of showed it from the beginning to the final piece, and I was like, whoa, I wouldn't have thought of that. Like, that was pretty sweet.
Thank you. And see, like the process videos, I've seen people really interact with those a lot more, and I actually like that too. I actually like showing people the process behind the work, as opposed to just posting and going. You know what I mean? I actually like that. So like on my stories a lot, like what I'll do is like just upload clips. You know what I mean? And then take those clips, actually make them a post, and then actually like make the real post. And it actually like stretches out, so you ain't got to worry about pumping out a new piece of art every day. You know what I mean? And
yeah, that
whether
gets
people
annoying.
say it or and whether exactly, and whether people say it or not, bro, it's annoying. It's annoying, and it looks like you're just
right. There's like this weird need to always have something new and fresh every fucking day. To like something, it's like, oh, new piece, new work, new stuff. It's like why can't we? Why as a photographer, why can't I just show two alternate shots next to each other? Why do I got to stack them on top of each other? Like,
exactly. And the thing is, bro, it's like the people who actually appreciate art, they're going to be fine with that. They're going to be fine with just viewing. They're going to be fine viewing the process, viewing the actual work, or even reading on like the idea before you even go into it. You know what I mean? They'll be there for the entire trip. But people who are just like social media rats are just going to be like, yo, what's new? What's new?
nice
What's
post,
new?
bro.
Facts.
DM our account so we can sponsor.
Exactly. Or they'll like unfollow you after like a day or two of starting following you because you haven't posted anything new. It's just like, bro, like
people who do that follow stuff, like still at this point when Instagram is kind of on its way out, it's kind of like
I have a life outside of art.
Yeah, it's so hard. Instagram is not what it used to be as far as reaching new people and engaging. I know when I go on Instagram, I don't go looking for stuff. Like, I just look at the people I follow and people I've met. It's not like I go searching through hashtags or like there's
Exactly.
or like it's really easy to explore, because when I go to explore, there's a bunch of hot girls. Like, it knows I'm a pervert or something. But like when it comes to art, like the only way I actually find other art is actually, now that I think about it, is by the artists I follow sharing the art of other artists. That is probably that's how I find shit on Instagram, is people sharing.
That's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be natural and just like a community. It's supposed to be a community.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be a real community. People actually, talking to one another, not a hashtag. Oh yeah, meet me at this hashtag, or you are the artist at this hashtag. It can be a great tool, but when you have just like the sole way of you finding other things that you like being hashtag streetwear, as opposed to following somebody who's actually in the field, actually collaborating with people.
There we go.
Just go to that hashtag and click streetwear, and that's how you find all of these and streetwear posts.
Yeah,
You
it's
know
just
what I
such
mean?
a
They're just
bullshit that like some like Indian like Instagram farm account posted with the hashtag streetwear. Like you can't, I bet you that's
exactly.
exactly what it is when you go there. Like,
And when you go to those, like when you go that route, you really see how it's watered down with a bunch of the same stuff as opposed to actually seeing real content from real people who have real creative views and who are creating real pieces. You
yeah,
know what I
it's
mean?
because we take our friends and people that we admire or respect, we take their opinions better than just randomly finding it. So if they share another artist work I think is dope, I like it, I'll probably go follow that artist. I'm like, oh, that's dope. This guy thinks it's dope.
Exactly.
Like, all right, sure, let's go for it. Like that seems to
Exactly.
be the better way to do it. Dude, I love the close-ups though. I hope you keep doing the close-ups of like where you can see the texture of the paint.
Oh, no,
Because
definitely.
that's something
I love
that you
those.
can never see on Instagram. So when you did it with that one
Yeah.
piece, I was like, oh, it's so cool to see the layers and to see the brush strokes. Like it's
Yeah.
so sick.
I actually like really doing those a lot. I like doing those a lot. I did that for Cardinal Dance too. I did it for I've done it for like a few. I've done it for a few of my last few pieces, to be honest, and I like it. I like it a lot. I noticed that when I give like a full shot, and it's like another thing. Like sometimes I do like gauge on like what kind of posts get the most reactions, and I think
We all do
that's
that.
something everybody does. You know what I mean? But like on Twitter specifically,
Oh,
like
Twitter.
I've noticed that when you post like a full shot of the piece and then like a very close up shot, like a really close up shot, like a really good part. Like I posted the part of the eye and the nose, like next to the actual face, and it got a lot of likes. It got like 2,000 likes on it, and I was like,
Whoa.
oh, like that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like I've
Like
never had a piece do that.
Like the close up
So
did better than the full view other
no,
posts or something.
it was the full and the close up next to each other under one
Oh.
post. And the actual buyer, because the piece is sold now, the actual buyer was somebody who saw it like that. And I was like, yo,
Proof in the pudding right there.
social media, man. Social media
The
is crazy.
power. See, that's the power
It's
right there. Instead of being like,
crazy.
oh, fuck social media, I'm not gonna post this photo. Like, there we go. You just
Exactly. It ain't never that with social media, man. It's just like, all right, I'm not gonna like die. I'm not gonna like be into this because it is a mess, but I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure out how to,
it's
how to
like
use it while it's here.
use social media, don't let it use you. That's what I always think
Exactly.
when it comes to being an artist. Social media is like use
It's
it
a
as a
tool.
tool. It's a
It's
tool.
a tool,
It's
man.
not a
Like,
tool for you to get addicted and sucked into. It's a tool for you to promote yourself and to reach
exactly.
other clients,
Like,
potential buyers, friends, fans, lovers, whatever it is. Like,
like
don't get sucked into it.
you have the ability to reach people across the world, and you don't want to take advantage of that.
Like
You're not business minded. You're
like,
not an entrepreneur.
but in your pocket, dude. I found out something crazy
In
the
your
day.
pocket.
So me and my buddy, I thought I knew a lot about Picasso, but he knew a lot more about Picasso. And I asked him, I said, dude, why the hell is the Mona Lisa so famous? I was like, it's not even that impressive. I was like, why is it so famous? And he was telling me it was because it got stolen. And so because it got stolen, it was printed in all the newspapers, and so it became prolific. And that's why it's famous, not because it's necessarily technically good. I mean, it is a Picasso, Da Vinci.
Da Vinci.
But it got stolen. Why did I say Picasso? But
I don't know. When you said, I was like, maybe, I was like, maybe Picasso painted something.
I don't know why I said that.
The Mona Lisa.
Yeah, but I was just talking about Mona Lisa. So, but it was because it got stolen. And back then, like the only way you got your information was word of mouth, and then like the one printed newspaper. So it became like a big thing because of that newspaper. Now we can reach hundreds of thousands of people just being on Twitter. Like, what the heck? Like,
crazy. We got a whole network of hundreds of thousands of people in our phone, potential network in our phone, in our pocket. It's crazy. And it's like, you got to use that, use that to your advantage.
The saying is like, it's like, sorry to cut you off, but the saying is like you're 5 degrees of separation from anyone you want to meet. I think there's a book on that. I think it's actually called The 5 Degrees, but essentially you're 5 degrees, meaning you know a person who knows a person who knows a person, like 5 degrees
okay.
from anyone you want to meet. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's like a networking book.
Yeah, I honestly, don't quote me on that title, but I remember reading that and hearing about other business people talk about that stuff. I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. I never really thought about that like that.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
I hope it's true.
No, but like the person who bought it, you know, like they saw it and they emailed me immediately. And to be honest, bro, I didn't care. I didn't care about the likes. I was like, is this going to make the piece sell though? And I was like, if this results in the piece selling, I will say this is an accomplishment. But I'm not saying this is an accomplishment just from it getting a lot of likes, because that doesn't mean anything. Especially, you know, people are easy to satisfy, especially people who are naive. So it's just like, you know what I mean? If a
It's
lot of
like
people like it, cool. You know what I mean? I appreciate that. Like it's always appreciated, but you know, I'm not going to count it as like a success unless it's sold.
it,
Because you know what I
see
mean?
see that's when the next post has to be, oh my god, it just sold so fast. I guess you guys got to wait for the next one. Like that's like the marketer and me being like, then you got to tell
Yeah,
everyone it's sold. Like, and then everyone goes, oh wow, he's selling paintings. Ooh, what's he doing here? Like it's so like it's weird we have to do that, which doesn't feel natural, but it's
it
like
doesn't,
it,
bro. I
it
hate doing it.
helps, you know.
I hate doing it. I
How,
hate doing it so much.
how
But it's
much?
just
Or sorry,
go
what were you
ahead.
saying?
No, you're fine.
I was gonna say, do you post like all of your paintings, or do you just have like a closet full of paintings that you're just like, I feel mad about, like, or you're just like, the world's not ready for these. Like, what's
I
your
got a house full of paintings,
really
bro. There's like art all over my walls, like
just stuff that
art
like no
all over
one's
my. Like
seen
you
or
can see
something?
it. You can see it a little bit. You know what I mean? You see it back there.
Is this your
Um,
studio?
no, it's not a studio.
Oh, whoa, yeah, you got a lot of art hanging up.
Yeah, so
It's cool. It's like a
it's
roof. It's
just
like a attic
it's
or
just
something.
art. It's just art everywhere. There's art everywhere. And in my room, you know, that's where I paint primarily. Oops,
Mm.
there we go. And you know, it's just like it's canvases. You know, it's just art, just on the walls, just you know that are in a phase of being complete. Because you know, like I was painting on canvas and then I stopped because I really wanted to get a good grasp on a lot what I wanted to show like new. And I think I have that now, you know, with the most recent pieces that I put out. I think I've kind of put my hand, I've kind of like touched on like the different approaches that I want to put towards new, bigger pieces. So now I'm gonna start, you know, actually putting them on bigger canvases, you know.
Like, how
And
big are we talking here?
like there's one that's I think 48 by 40 by 4 by 5 feet that I'm going
Damn,
to start, you know, this weekend.
I love that, dude.
There's a 36 by 36 that I started and it stopped. It was like the first piece that I used with experimenting with the metal. I mean, not with the metal, with the metallic spray paint. And then using like oil paint to like emphasize it a little bit. You know what I mean? So they're really just pieces that I just use for like experiments. And I just I experimented on them. And then I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna create some smaller ones, you know, going off of these now, just to get a better grasp of like what I want to do and just practice it more. And you know,
Mm.
and that's because that's all I've been doing is practicing for the bigger pieces. Like the smaller ones, they're impressive, but I think that the bigger ones are like gonna be amazing. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
is that how you approach it? Kind of like the warm up, the run up, testing certain things so that then you
Yeah.
address like this big canvas. Like, okay,
And see, like at first, like years prior to 2020, I wasn't like this. That's the reason why I've said like my process has really changed a lot in the way
mm,
that I'm like going at it. You know what I mean? I was like, you know, like I said, you know, like my intent has changed. Like I want to do something different, and I want to be able to communicate what I'm seeing, not just visually, but like also like you know, like just like people seeing it and being able to talk about it, just like articulate it more with
what do you mean?
with the
Like give
visuals.
them like you're giving the viewer a, something about the painting that they can latch onto, as opposed to being
So
like too abstract. Is that what you're trying to say?
not no 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 not okay. So so okay. Let me think of a good example. Okay, so I can see a tree, right?
Hmm.
And I'll paint the tree exactly how I see it, and that's what I post. People say, "Yo, this is beautiful," et cetera,
Right.
et cetera. You know what I mean? Or I could paint a tree, and I could paint something else to go along with the tree to put together an entire idea. You know what I mean? So like
Mm,
it could be like a child swinging on the tree. You know what I mean? The theme is innocence. You know what I mean? It could be of a picnic under the tree in my style. and it could, and the theme could be love, family. You know what I mean? So it's, yeah.
Okay.
So it's not just depicting what I see, but it's depicting what I see in a way to communicate, depicting what I see in order to communicate the things that actually inspire me. So you don't have to
You're
guess.
trying to depict more than just like a static object, like something else.
Yes, I'm
Like I see
trying
you're
to.
saying like it's a tree with a scene almost, which gives context to this kind of tree, to this
I'm
kind of
trying to
context.
create content. I'm trying to create more context for my work, other than like you seeing the objects, being like, "Yo, what does this mean?" And then you having to read the card. I want, like, and see, I've done this. I've done it. You know what I mean? I've done it, but it just, I think I've been doing it at a very immature level. I think it's just, I don't think it's as much as it can go to, in my eyes anyway. So it's just like I feel like it can be better. So I'm going to try to make it better, and I think that I took the steps necessary in order to get the groundwork before I actually start trying to approach those ideas, because I just didn't want to create like those new ideas in the same style that I was using at home, because I just don't believe in staying just like on
Yeah,
one
it
thing.
makes sense. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just how I think as any artist matures and gets more critical of their work and gets better at what they do, you just naturally do that. Like, for example, when I started photography, I would just run and gun. I'd shoot you anywhere, any location, any outfit. Now,
Mm-hmm.
you want me to do a photo shoot for you? Like, I'm thinking about the outfit, the time of day, the angle, like where's the sun sitting, what film am I using? What are my settings? Like it's not just like throw it up. It's like a lot of run up and like a lot more
Exactly.
pre-thought before I take that photo, or in your sense, before you paint on that big canvas.
Mm-hmm. And see, like this entire process, because I've been working at it since the beginning. I mean, since the ending of the home show. So this is like coming like straight off of like January-ish.
Wow.
I've been I started from the basics. I started off with actually drawing the scenery, like the scenes that I wanted, like in pencil or in pen. And then I went towards different mediums, and I think one of them was it was like watercolor mixed with acrylic, and then it was like oil markers, and then that steadily just got to where it's at now. You know what I mean? Because like as I introduced new mediums with like the spray paint and the markers, then I started to like do different things, like the stencils, for example. And I saw the stencils come into play, and I was like, yo, like I can use this on this, and I can do this with that. I could take this and I could put this, and I could just use that as like the underlining, and just having fun with it. You know what I mean? Just having fun creating these pieces, and it's just got to this now. Like it's got like Indigo's Inferno is literally like a combination of all of those things wrapped into one. And the process was very, I wouldn't say it's very long. It didn't seem long to me because I was having fun with it. But, like when I first started it, I was like actually like posting like snippet, like videos of me like drawing the things out in pen. It wasn't getting as much attention as it is now, but I get it though. Like people didn't really, like you see me have this show with like all these big bold paintings, and then why are you painting? Like, why are you drawing?
Yeah, it's like a ballpoint pen, pencil, or
It's
whatever
like, bro,
it is.
what are you doing? It's like, bro, what are you doing? This isn't what you was doing before. But I get it though. You know what I mean? I get it. So this is where the art of storytelling has to come into play in order to keep people interested. You know what I mean?
So are you working towards an exhibition right now? Is that
I'm
what that's
working,
going, or you're just kind of creating because you want to?
I already have the idea of the next exhibition I want, like the name, theme, everything. So right now it's just the body of work before I even, take that on. I just want to create a good body of work first, to present to the gallery or the curator or whoever, whoever's going to be helping it along the way. And like along the process, I've met, new curators. I've met new curators, new galleries. So it's just like, things just line up, man. You know what I mean? Like the gallery in LA, I just had a group show at Wanzheimer. And then, and then, yeah, exactly. And then the Brooklyn-based curator that I was just talking to you about is just like, things kind of like just line up when you just go with what you need to do, And this is just that's what I felt like I needed to do. So that's just what I did. And like during the entire process, I was like, yo, like, what inspires you the most? And it was just like change. That inspires me the most. As much as like it makes me uncomfortable, I love it though. It's like, especially in terms of art, like I like going through those new beginning phases where I have to like start from scratch and like really have to like prove myself again, whether it's work or it's art, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. As long You know, as long as something that's like, is stimulating.
Well, it keeps it
It's
fresh.
stimulating.
If you just rode the same
Yeah,
horse every time just because
yeah,
you're trying to
man.
meet some public perception of your style as Rain, then
Yeah.
it's like, why would you want to
It
kill
just
your own
doesn't seem
self? It's
fun. It doesn't
yeah,
seem fun. It doesn't seem innovative. It doesn't seem like something. It just doesn't seem like something the legends did. You know what I mean? And like overall, you know what I mean? Like if you're an artist and if you're like you want it to be your career, overall you're trying to make your work timeless. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
And
And I
something
just
that I
don't
thought
think.
was something I think is fascinating is like speaking of Picasso, not Da Vinci. Now I got these right.
Hmm.
That same buddy who was showing me all this stuff, he showed me this video. We skipped through it. It's like a 4-hour video, but it's literally every work from Picasso, like all of his paintings. And you can skip ahead and see the different points in his life. Like when
Yeah,
someone died, he drew things with only shades of blue for like a few years. And then after that, he went to like the Cubic era. And then people are
yeah,
like, that's when Picasso became Picasso. And then he went to this era. And then you can see what he drew before he died. And before he died, he was painting nothing besides like dicks and tits and stuff like that. It was actually pretty funny. He was pretty perverted. But like, yeah, it
yeah.
just
He was. He
Picasso
married,
was a
bro.
savage. People don't talk
He
about that.
was. He was. He was. He was like, I was like, bro,
He
this
was like
dude was.
60 with like a 13-year-old girl.
He's a creep. He's a
Yeah.
creep.
I mean,
He was
the
a.
standards were different back then. The
The
standards were
standards were
different.
definitely different. The standards were definitely different. But it was just like, yo, this
This
dude is
man,
weird. This dude was
he
weird.
he
This
was
dude was a
driven by
weirdo.
sex. Like this man he loved women.
He was a sex addict. And
I wouldn't doubt it.
to be honest, is like, whether or not the times are different or not, a 13-year old. And he died. He didn't even die. He didn't even die that long ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
there's still like pretty modern looking photos of him, like
exactly.
high quality film
Yep.
photos of him with
Yeah. So
really young, beautiful women. I'm like,
this
yo,
dude was just a
Picasso.
pervert. This dude was
Yeah,
a
I mean,
pervert.
I'm not for anyone underage, but I'm just
No,
like,
no, no. I get
yo,
what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
but if you're like 80 and you got this like hottest girl ever, I'm like, hey, shout
Yeah.
out Picasso. But
Yeah.
he was also famous back when.
He's also like a rock star, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
he was
like,
a walking rock star. He was the
yeah,
dude.
he was like a legend. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So, like, the 25-year-old that he was with, it was just like, it makes sense. Like they like that's what they do with rock stars now. Like, like the old ones, as far as like music goes. You know what I mean? So it's just like, the dude was insane. The dude was insane. A
Yeah.
lot of great artists were insane. Like
Isn't that
Francis
interesting?
Bacon,
Really?
insane.
Why,
Francis Bacon was,
why was he insane?
bro. He was actually very crazy. He was actually very crazy. He had a very high temperament. He was very into domestic abuse. He liked domestic abuse. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
like he liked
hard.
beating women?
No. He liked to be beaten.
Oh,
He
whoa.
was homosexual male, but he liked to be beaten.
Oh,
And
wow.
it
He's in some
stemmed,
kinky shit.
it stemmed from a childhood trauma, I believe, with his father beating him. And I think something like that. But it was just like overall, like the dude was, he was crazy. Like he was crazy. Like
Right?
if you look into the like look into his actual documentary, you'll see it. And it was like the dude was, he was pretty messed up in the head, But
But why is it
like
that the most fucked people have the best art? Kanye, the craziest person, makes him
I
the
feel like
best art.
I feel like because they feel the most, Like even though
Yeah, that's a good way to
I
put
feel like
it.
they just feel the most. Like Francis Bacon, for instance, like he spoke like a lot of people. I think one of the things he said, don't quote me on this, but he was like he doesn't like to paint like the good side of life. He paints the bad side, Like that's the reason why like a lot of his figures are like all messed up and wrangled, and the faces were so distorted because he was like he's not creating any ideal image of beauty. He's creating something truer. He's creating the ugliness of life. He's creating a harsh reality that people don't want to look at, and because it's his life,
Yeah.
his he was beaten as a child, he
Whoa.
has suffered domestic abuse, he has been raped, et cetera, like it was like this is his life, it's a harsh reality, so he's going to depict that, you know what I mean, and he said that because he had allergies, he had really bad allergies. I think he said that he always felt like he was like dying because because he had really bad allergies. So it was
Wow.
just like,
Especially back
yeah,
then, there was no Sudafed.
there was nothing, bro. That's what I'm saying. It was
You went
like,
outside, you just had to suffer. Like, so this man is probably just like, screw it, I'm just gonna sit inside and sit next to this window light and paint.
but the thing is, though, he didn't. Though he was a drunk as well. Like he would like drink and get into fights.
I
It
mean,
was, yeah.
look at Van Gogh. I mean, he's such an obvious one, but the dude chopped off his own ear. What kind of person chops off their own ear? Like, that is insane. Like, what in the world? Like, and then you look at a painting like Starry Night, like, and if you look at it in like on like the Google Arts and History app, you can zoom in on the shit, dude. It's a nuts painting to look at it in like high quality, and then you think, yeah, it takes a certain kind of person to paint something like this. And then Van Gogh ended up dying from a stab wound, and and there's debate of whether he stabbed himself or someone else stabbed him. But I honestly think he stabbed himself. I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I don't know. There's a lot. Like Basquiat, for example, too. Since we're naming greats, Basquiat, for example, too. Like,
Drugs?
he was. I think he was autistic. I think he had a mental disability. He got a mental disability. That doesn't make him crazy though. But his way, like the way he looked at the world was like, it's just bullshit.
So what's fascinating about Basquiat is he was actually trilingual from a young age. And and the thing that some people point to as maybe how he got his genius is when he was really young, he got hit by a car when he was playing with his brother in the street. And so he was really young and almost died. So he got surgery, and while he was out in surgery, like they're saying that he might have hit his head in like the perfectly wrong way. You get what I'm saying? Like it knocked the artistic genius into him or something. I don't know. But that was when his mom gave him what is it, that science book about or Grey's Anatomy, and you see that show in his work.
And then he saw the anatomy and all that good stuff, and then he started like just trying to like make it. It was bro. It's definitely interesting. Like just like hearing about like how they do certain things, like how they come about. It's definitely interesting.
It's like they're so dynamic, right? Like they're so like it just feels with no second thought. Like it's just all or nothing, in a way. It just feels very like crazy. I'm sure you looked at Bacon, you're like, this is a crazy motherfucker. There's no way he's gonna be famous in 100 years. Look at him.
Exactly.
We're talking about him.
It's, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like I know a lot of people who like this. Excuse me. I feel like a lot of people try to imitate like their life, like that lifestyle, like they read in books and stuff. And it's like, I get it, but you gotta understand this was something like that wasn't just something they were just doing. Like that was the actual lifestyle. Like, those are actual problems that they faced, and that like those problems aren't gonna make you a great artist just because you're imitating them. If that makes sense.
No, of course it does. Everyone's life is unique to their own timeline. Like everyone is special and different. And trying to imitate someone else's patterns of life is just gonna mess you up. It's not gonna put you where you want to be.
Exactly. Overall, I find them interesting to read about, just to like see. I like overall like the when I was like starting like painting and all that. What I used to do is I just look at like a lot of different just images and just study them. Like study like not even like the composition of like what they were painting, but like how they were painting. I was like,
they like how they were moving the brush.
It's like, oh, they layer like this, or they typically use like this color in the background or this color in the background. What color is similar? Or what color can I put in the background like that? You know what I mean? That's how I learned painting, just observing different paintings.
Just like on YouTube or something? You just watch on YouTube?
Museums. I went to actual museums and actually looked at the paintings there and actually studied them there. And actually, kind of like just remember like how they were painted, and just went off of that.
It sounds like the actual best way to do it is just go stare them in the face and see the textures and brushstrokes yourself.
Yeah, it is. Like I already had like kind of like a good leaning towards it, so I was just like, pretty sure if I just see it, I could do it.
Do you have a favorite painting of all time? Or just like at the moment? Is there like a painting that you're like, this is my favorite painting at the moment?
There's this one Dali piece, and it has like big elephants, and the elephants have are you Googling it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna pull it up.
Okay, so it's Salvador Dali. If you just type in Salvador Dali and then like elephants with long legs.
Did they have a red backdrop or a blue sky backdrop?
You want me to pull it up?
No, I got it. I got it. You know, because I can screen share. I can screen share it.
Yeah, let me see.
All right, here we go. All right, I got it. Here, I'll pull it up right now. Dude, this is crazy.
No, Dali's my favorite artist, like, of all time.
This one right here?
Yes.
Dude, I've never actually seen this one. This is nuts. Have you seen this in person?
I haven't seen it in person. I just like it.
Who the fuck thinks of this? It's so for people listening, it's two elephants on either side of the canvas with like a red to yellow sunset, sunrise. But the elephants have like 100 feet long stilted legs and like it looks like the Washington Monument on its back.
It's just a beautiful piece of art, man. Like,
could you imagine seeing that in person, dude?
It's a beautiful piece of art. Like, I love it. I've actually seen a real Dali in real life, and they look so good in person. Like, the colors are so true. Like, there's no lies to it. You know what I mean? Like, the colors are just there. Like, there is no up in the saturation, up in the very, like, no, there's no up in anything. Like, those are the real colors. Like, this dude really painted like that. It's just, I don't know, it's just really beautiful to me. And the detail that went into it, like, the amount of focus, attention that goes into creating the detail, like the flesh, like on the legs.
Yeah, like the lighting, the way the light hits it, like the shadow, and just it's so.
He was a genius. That's why he's my favorite artist. He's my favorite artist. He was a genius.
He was
definitely my favorite artist.
I wish I knew more about him. I'm gonna try and find like a good documentary on him or something. That'd be really fun to learn more.
He was a wild dude too.
Prolific, very prolific.
Very wild dude. Very wild dude. Very wild dude. Very freaking funny. If I can meet him, I'm pretty broad. If I can meet him, I would definitely meet him. But like,
he wasn't alive that long ago. Like he died like not that long ago.
Yeah,
within 100 years.
Exactly. If I had the chance to meet him, I would definitely do it. Seemed like he was a pretty funny person.
You know, I was talking about that with someone like Dali, because he had such a unique look. It's almost as if he wanted celebrity, like the same way Basquiat wants celebrity. Like you don't dress and present yourself like that if you don't want the prolificness that comes with it. He did
things. No, I watched a documentary on him. He did things solely to cause attention. He did it solely to cause attention. Like, I remember what did he do? He created a crap phone. He did it solely because he knew people were going to talk about it. He was like,
a what?
Like an actual like lobster phone. It was a lobster phone sculpture. Like, he just did the most outrageous things just to do them because he knew they were going to get attention.
That's so crazy.
He just took advantage of it.
He'd probably be popping on Instagram if he was alive these days.
Bro, if he was popping on Instagram, they'd have to ban that man because he would just be doing so much crude stuff. They would ban his account. His account would get reported so much. He probably had like a world record for like most reported posts.
Dude, I love his photography works that he's done with photographers, where like it looks things are like frozen while they're falling and shit like that. It gets so nuts. He's done across mediums, just different, really crazy stuff.
He did, and what's crazy is like he really started out like with like the surrealism movement, and people were just like, "Yo, you're not really with what we doing, so you got to go." You know what I mean? Like, they pushed him out, and he was like, "Fuck anyway, I'm gonna do what I want to do," and did what he wanted to do, and now he's more famous than the majority of them. So he didn't keep himself in a box. You know, like he had another way of approaching surrealism that they didn't have, and they didn't see it as surrealism. You know what I mean? They saw it as something entirely different, but he kind of reinvented it. So,
I mean, that's usually a sign of good work. Is it's if people are upset about it, or if it defies the common logic or the common standard of doing something, it's you might usually be onto something then.
Yeah, exactly.
At least in my opinion. Like, I was talking to my friend Sabrina, who became this like big DJ in LA. And so we did an interview yesterday. She was telling me how when she started producing her songs, she was putting dubstep next to like heavy dance music in her tracks. And then that community was like, "Oh, we don't like that. We're purists. We only like the hard style." But it worked out.
That term is so weird, purist. Anyway, it's just like, so you don't invite change.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's weird to think about.
So you don't invite change, which means you don't invite innovation, which means you don't want the improvement of what you want,
You're not,
like what you love.
yeah, you're not open to new ideas. Like you can't expand upon this idea. You can only paint in the classical style.
We can't have that. We can't have both. All right.
That's why you're not
You
allowed to use
can't
spray
have both.
paint.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
have both,
right.
and everybody else is gonna have both. But you can stay over there, in your booth with your gates up, so you want to be a Puritan.
Yeah. The art of not giving a fuck.
Exactly.
You know, a book I'll never read, but I just love that phrase. It's just so good.
I haven't read it either. People have told me to read it. I'm just like, I eventually get to it.
It's like that one book, You Are a Badass. I'll never read that shit either. I'm not going to read that stupid book. It's like every girl has read that book. I'm a badass. Yeah.
I've never heard of that book.
You never heard of that book?
Never heard of that book.
Oh my God. Every girl, when they're going,
Kind of
like,
glad
when they
and-
get broken up with, they go and buy that book.
I'm kind of glad I didn't hear that book, because if I would hear somebody say they read that book, I'd be like, bro, that sounds like a bad movie title.
Do you read books?
I'm bad. Huh?
Do you read books?
I read books. Not as much as I should, unfortunately.
It's, you know, we
Not
watch
as much as I should.
videos.
As much as I should. I don't know. I'd be moving too much. Like between school, work, and art, it's just like when you actually have time to sit down and read. You know what I mean? Like realistically, you know what I mean? Like I try to read some, you know what I mean? Like, but it never sticks because I'm always moving. I don't ever have like time where I can just sit down and just chill. And in the time where I am just sitting down and chilling, I'm kind of tired. So, but I think that's bad. I think you need to at least put like an hour into it a day. I'm gonna try to incorporate an hour into it, because it's not like I'm like opposed to reading. You know what I mean? It's just like I just don't find myself giving it the right amount of time.
Yeah, reading's one of those things that's like kind of regarded in like a valuable, sacred way, like just because it's like an old form of consuming content. But it's like, could you imagine a time where someone's like, "Oh, do you watch television? Like, do you watch movies?" Like, no, I'm just kind of too busy. I don't like to sit still for an hour or two at a time. It's like some people are just like that, you know. Like
That
I
is true,
personally
too.
don't watch that many movies, and if I do, I'm usually falling asleep to them. So it's like,
Bro, the thing is, I watch movies all the time. I love movies.
yeah, that's your
I
book
love
reading.
movies.
It's
Movies.
like,
I love movies. And that's the reason why I try to look up documentaries as much as I can. You know what I mean? I try to look up documentaries as much as I can, because I actually enjoy watching, like actually seeing people talk about them, their reactions, the actual like pictures from like whatever they're talking about. It's like, yo, this is interesting. Give me more. You know what I mean? And it can be a documentary on anything. It can be a documentary on anything. I used to watch like on the Nature Channel. I used to watch documentaries like the wildlife, animals and stuff. You know what I mean? And then, but there's this one corny show called Ancient Aliens. I used to watch all the time.
oh no, that is a
Bro,
great show. That show is
it was a great show.
that is a
It
great
was a
show.
great show. It was just like, these speakers, they were here, but they have this type of insignia on them. Does that mean that they invented this, or is it another life?
The pyramids.
Facts.
Did you?
This
did
tree,
you-
it has an engraving on it. It could just be, their language, but why would it be found across the world?
Dude, did you see that
Ancient aliens.
the government came out and straight up said like, yeah, UFOs are a thing, like, and no one's talking about that shit. Like
They tried
yeah,
to throw in a distraction real quick, and people were like, "Nah, we focused on this right now."
yeah, like they're like, oh yeah, the government straight up came out and said, yeah, there's definitely unidentified objects flying. Like they just put it in a different way when it was released, and now people are like, wait, what? Like there's actually things you haven't like our government can't identify this technology or whatever these things are.
Right. Where do people think these ideas come from? Obviously, I don't know. Like all the great like space movies and like all the great sci-fi movies. Like that person had to be inspired by something. So, like it could be a conspiracy, or it could just be a little bit of history. Who knows? But it came from somewhere, so it's not really surprising. You know what I mean? Like if they dropped a picture and if they dropped news like, oh yeah, ET really did exist, et cetera, and something got leaked, years and years before the movie ET was actually made, I'd be like, not surprised. Of course. Not
Yeah.
surprised. Because bro, who's thinking about it? Who's thinking of like, oh yeah, let me make a movie about aliens now. Like,
No one's thinking about that.
where'd
Everyone's
you
just trying to remake another old
exactly
superhero movie because they don't make money. But the thing is, like,
exactly?
if
And like, where are
aliens,
you even getting the idea of aliens from? You're getting it from somewhere.
I think the craziest part about if there was contact with aliens, hoping that they didn't just kill us instantly, would be the technology they have. Because for them to be here and to meet us, like, what are we going to do if all of a sudden, like, they start showing us crazy time travel and space warping technology, bending time and shit like that, and now all of a
But
sudden
we
we can
wouldn't
like we
we
can
wouldn't know how
explore
to
like
act.
different parts of the universe, like
We
like
wouldn't know
these
how
are
to act.
crazy thoughts. Like that is what would change. The craziest part about meeting an aliens is like, oh, now we have access to this crazy tech. Like, whoa,
I don't think it'd be good.
you
We
don't think so?
No, not at all. Too many people like war, bro. So many people like owning stuff for that to happen. Like, bro, just think about that. Be like, we can go back in time. Bet. Let's go back in time before certain got like certain landed on this country and made it theirs. Boom.
I don't
You
think
know
I
what I
don't
mean?
see. I don't think time travel would ever be a thing, but I think things that defy our general thinking of like physics and how gravity works and how light works, because like that's why we can't do certain things because of our understanding of
If they
gravity and
just gave us the
propulsion.
knowledge as opposed to giving us
Yeah,
the tools, I
yeah.
could see that. But even then, I feel like, I mean, you're always gonna have people who do that, people like weaponize it and stuff like that. But I mean, I guess you're always gonna have stuff like that happen. But I don't know. I think it causes as much harm as it could
Yeah, I
because
try to stay positive about it and be like, oh yeah, we won't kill each other. We
it's
won't
like
kill each other.
I'm a positive person, I'm also a realist, man. I just be like, nah, we probably shouldn't give y'all that knowledge right there. Like give y'all the knowledge of spaceships and like how to like build them and how to like go like further. Bro, they're gonna be in conquered like 5 planets and commit a genocide on 5 planets by the end of the year. Like no, don't give them that. Don't give them that. Do not give the human population that right now.
And it would
Like
just be crazy. Like I don't know how much alien shit you follow, but I follow it loosely just based off different podcasts I listen to. And the craziest things that these people describe is how these objects, these flying objects, fly and propel themselves through space and time, is because the way they move is like nothing we have here. Like the way this fighter jet pilot was describing his encounters with it's like shaped like a tic tac, is that it can travel from like right below the water surface of the water to like 50 miles in a blink of an eye, like not even picked up on radar, just completely. Even the way it moves is just it defies our propulsions. I'm just like, that's so nuts, that's so crazy. I don't know, I hope it happens. At this point I think everyone's ready for it.
honestly, I wouldn't be mad to see it. I would just be like, yo, I hope nothing bad happens from this.
You like this, like now this, god damn it, like now there's really no point to ever go out and make money. Like we got aliens, the fuck's the point of everything? Fuck the
Bro,
stock
I'd be
market.
glad I got that computer engineering degree. That way we can learn. Like, like that means, hey, they're gonna need people in there to learn about the new stuff. Like, what's up with it?
So we're gonna switch here, but how have you been during quarantine? Have you been staying productive, and like how are you feeling about going out of quarantine? I feel like we're maybe hitting the end of it, but I can't say that for
Nah,
sure.
Virginia. I think Virginia just went back to phase two. Phase
Oh,
two.
really?
Yeah. I don't. I mean, people not staying inside. People, people are still going to like large functions and stuff like that. So it's just like, what do you expect? Like the few people that that I go right around, they're like the same people. Like go to work, at my friend's house. You know what I mean? That's about it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I come back home. Other than going out to, like grab groceries and stuff, but people aren't wearing masks, man. People aren't wearing masks. People aren't, not going to, going out to eat. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And like social distance, like it's one thing. It's one thing like go out to eat, but it's one thing like and like social distance yourself. Another thing like eat in like a straight up just restaurant style with no type of anything. You know what I mean? And it's like people are doing that too. People are going to the beach. People are swimming in the same water. People are doing all this stuff. It's just like, well,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm on the
what do you
side of just
expect?
like I'm on the side just like fuck it all. Like I'm on the side. I'm just like, I get, let's be safe about it. But I'm just kind of like, I'm
Yeah,
so over it. I'm so over it. Can we go back to events and eating at restaurants and doing
yeah.
things and
It's like
not walking by someone and acting like they're infected? Like I hate that shit.
I get it. Like I definitely get it. But like the thing is like majority of the people that are like infected and are like prone to being infected aren't even people our age. So so it's more so like just doing our part to make sure that those people like have a higher chance of survival. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like and,
I
like
personally hate that.
our generation definitely is like more like driven as far as like trying to get stuff done. So of course, like we're gonna be like, yo, like we need to make some stuff happen. You know what I mean? Like, we need to get the ball back rolling.
Mhm.
But then it's just like the ball might need to be stopped for a little bit. You know what I mean? Maybe it's not a bad thing, that people have to, not go out every weekend. Maybe it's not a bad thing that people maybe it's not a bad thing that people aren't able to drink and drive every weekend now. Maybe it's not a bad thing that, people have to spend time at their home with their families now.
Mhm.
I mean, like, look on the bright side of things, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like, it sucks, but at the end of the day, like, everybody could be sick. You know what I mean? Or you could be sick, or, somebody you love could be sick,
Yeah,
or,
there's
it could
definitely
be way
positives.
worse.
I
Yeah.
think as humans, we're always going to find positives out of a shitty situation. The sense of
Mm-hmm.
community, the sense of spending more time with your family, focusing on yourself, getting your alone time, and all that stuff. Um, I don't know.
I mean,
I
I'd be
guess
lying if I was to say that I wish it wasn't over, bro. I think everybody wishes it's over.
yeah.
Like, you know
I
what I
think
mean?
we're all just
You're
worried
lying when
about
you say you don't.
everyone else. Like
Yeah.
today, like dude, this morning I went on a trail run, dude. I'm not gonna wear a mask while I'm running on a trail, dude.
No.
I can barely breathe already. Like it was early in the morning. I'm running on a trail. This lady who has a mask on her dog, I come around this corner. I had just like stopped my run. She goes, stop. She like puts her hand out like she's got the force, like she's a freaking like she's a Jedi. She's like, stop. She goes, and then she runs off the sidewalk. She's like, you should really be wearing a mask. I'm like, lady, I'm exercising. What do you
Nah,
mean?
and the thing is, like, you don't have to. Like, you should, like, they only like you can still do stuff like that outside, and, like without wearing a mask. Like you're exercising. That's what you're supposed to be doing to fight against it anyway. To be honest, you know
Well,
what I mean? That's just.
what I'm trying to get at is that I hate the social interaction
Oh
implications now
yeah,
from a stranger to a stranger. Now we're so hesitant of other people. We act like other people are zombies. Like literally, if we're both walk with nothing on our mask out, nothing on our mouth outside, we turn the corner and see each other. We're like, oh, we cover a mask. Like we look at each other. Like we walk 6 feet apart. Like it feels so foreign to treat another stranger like that. Let alone to like go to embrace your friends in public or something, and then you have then like one of you guy goes, oh, elbow, like it's like I just want to give you a fucking hug, dude. Like I don't know, man.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it
yeah.
a lot. I get
Yeah,
it.
screw the COVID talk, man. I don't want to talk about that shit anymore. I'm so done
Yeah,
with COVID.
yeah. We do enough like learning about that on our own time anyway. To be
I
honest.
know. No one wants to hear other people talk about COVID. Everyone's like, I'm so over it. Unless you're telling me that that crazy Nigerian lady was right about the cure, then I don't want to hear that. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. So,
Oh,
anyways, man, I think we've reached a pretty good mark here, man.
really
I've been enjoying talking to you, man.
appreciate it. Oh, there's one more thing I wanted to tell you about the So I was telling you about how like at the beginning of the year I started the whole process and everything.
Yeah.
So I actually like turned that into like a whole like online exhibition thing that I'm gonna put together. It's called It Only
Yeah.
Takes a Few Dances.
This is
Um
cool.
and it's called It Only Takes a Few Dances, and dance is like a metaphor for attempts. You know what I mean? Like fall down, get up type situation. So I don't know, like I just like that's what I really want to do is highlight the progression of like each phase is what I call it,
Mm-hmm.
and just like map it out like from start to finish, like with the piece that I have now. And I think that that's going to be really cool. I just wanted to just say that because I really wanted to put that out there.
So
I'm planning
you
to put
have
it
an
together.
on. So is it available now? It's like an online gallery or like an online exhibition. What's
It's
the
going to be
details?
it's just going to be like an online display of pieces on my website. That's all.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't want to actually put up a gallery, like a actual like 3D gallery for it, because the pictures might not be like high res enough. You know what I mean? I wanted people just to like getting. I might do it. You know, I might do it. Actually, to be honest, I'm not really too sure about it yet. I found a few websites that are able to do it. I just feel like, you know, being in quarantine and everything like that, and I don't even know if it's still called quarantine. I don't even know if it's still called quarantine.
Well, I don't even know what we're in anymore.
I don't know where we're in, bro. We're in
2020.
We just living.
We're just living in 2020. We're trying to get out of the air.
We are in 2020. That's a perfect word for it. We're in freaking 2020. Like anything can happen. Anything can happen. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, woke up tomorrow and you're like, oh yeah, Abraham Lincoln is back from the dead. Like, oh, okay. All right.
Like, oh okay. Yeah, China was actually using CRISPR to genetically modify humans, and they created the perfect human. And he looks like Steven Seagal. I don't know.
Steve Jobs is back with a new iPhone.
Yes, thank God. I missed his ass.
Okay.
Yeah, who would you bring?
His movie was great. Did you see his movie? Like, did you see his movie?
I've seen both of them. It's both Steve Jobs movies. I saw the Ashton Kutcher one, and then I saw the other one with the other actor. The
Ashton Kutcher one was better.
You liked it more?
In my opinion. Just because it showed like a full glimpse. You know what I mean? Like a full glimpse. The other one was cool too.
Oh, the other one focused more on like the releases and stuff. Yeah, you're right. The Ashton Kutcher one gave you more of like an overall view from the beginning.
Yeah, from the beginning to end.
And like still made you remember that he was a dickhead, but
yeah, because he was yet another genius that's just, you know.
That's his error. Everyone's got their error. It's like everyone's got that thing that is their crazy. Everyone's like a little crazy. For Steve Jobs, he was
a control freak.
A fruitarian too. I'm pretty sure he only ate only fruit.
He did, but his vision was immaculate though. Like his vision was immaculate, even though he couldn't, you know, build it himself. Immaculate, you know what I mean? You know, somebody's got to have it. Somebody's got to have it. Somebody's got to have the vision. Not every, you know, not every engineer has a vision, you know, or has like a creative vision. So somebody had to have it. And now whether you want to say whether people don't like him or not, you can't lie and say that Apple isn't one of the most innovative tech brands for the past century. It is. You know what I mean?
Looking back, then Apple came and completely changed the game, and they made it user friendly.
I think it trumps almost everybody for real. We're talking about like just impact and how like they just changed up the lifestyle. What?
I mean, you use if you use Apple products versus Windows products, it all feels integrated. It all feels connected and easy, and it just works like how it should. You use Windows, I've probably gotten like an update error or an update message some way through this interview. You know, it's like Windows just feels clunky, in my opinion, as far as user experience. Even if you can have a PC and play every game and do all that stuff, the Mac experience and OS X experience is just so flawless.
It's cleaner.
It's clean. Just cleaner. It's simple.
It's clean. It's sleek. It's
sleek.
It's just like okay, that's nice. Like, just as in Windows is like literally like
it doesn't look good. It has no aesthetic. It's just like cumbersome. It's
just a computer. It's just a computer. It's not a part of the human. I think that's like what his vision was like. They like make it more human.
I don't know. The way he put the emphasis on the subtle details and the design and the interaction, that is what's so notable about him. Like, sure, he was an asshole, the asshole and all that stuff, but the way he wanted things to be done and push the envelope, that is what we all love about it, is that relentless craziness to detail.
Yeah, he was. He was like, no, this needs to happen this way so the user doesn't have to go all the way over here to do it. He needs to do it from right here. Like the user experience, he just made it to make it. He just made it so that it was like super simple, you know. But even then, like some Macs, like they're hard. Like I'm not gonna say they're hard, but they lack certain things that would be a lot easier. There'd be a lot. I think we're a lot more comfortable with just because we always had Windows computers in like schools and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like some functions of a Windows computer, the Apple computer doesn't have, but it's just like, that's just different, you know, that's just different systems. And we're just used to it because You know, like that's just what we were put into, you know, at a young age.
Goddamn Steve Jobs. Rain, dude, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I can't
You
wait
too,
to
man.
see what you're going to get into with the art career. I can't wait. I can't wait to talk to you again in a year, 2 years, whenever we talk again. You'll be popping in the art world, and then I'm going to ask you, how's that degree working out for you? I
I'm gonna
can't
be
wait to
like,
ask you that.
well,
I really can't wait. I'm waiting. I'm storing this right now. I'm going to clip this in 2 years, but I'm still doing this podcast, and you're going to be this insane painter, probably in New York or LA. I'm going to say, yeah, how's that computer engineering degree, bro?
like I made an app. I'm making apps. You know what I mean? I'm making my own apps.
I'd
You
be
know what
like,
I mean?
damn
I'm
it, you got me.
making my own apps. If any, bro, I swear to God, though, if I don't end up working 9 to 5 from it, I'm just gonna make apps. I'm just gonna make apps. I'm just
Hey.
gonna make apps. Just gonna make apps for myself, and you know, put it out there, and you know, hey, ain't nothing wrong with another income. Nothing
I'm here
ever
for
wrong
it.
with another
Guys,
income.
please check out Rain on Instagram at Rain the Neo if you're listening, or if you're watching on YouTube, you've probably already looked below. Check them out.
Mm-hmm.
All the good stuff. That's it, guys. That's
Thank you,
the
man.
angle.
Appreciate it.
Peace out. Yeah, appreciate you coming on, brother.